person who sets up those speakers for those environments has no idea where you are. And in the case of a shopping mall, you're moving around quite a lot. In a nightclub, you're bouncing up and down quite a lot, and in a coffee shop, there's lots of different options for you to sit. Hi, welcome to another Music Monday. Today we're going to have a look at stereo sounds, and one of the biggest mistakes that people make is confusing balance and panning in their digital audio workstation. So in today's episode we're going to have a look at and a think about what stereo actually is. How does mono feature in our consideration of stereo? Why should you use stereo or mono? And also I'll show you via a demo in Logic why people sometimes confuse balance and pan and why you shouldn't ever confuse them again. Stereo, it's how we hear the world, right? You're at a rock concert, there's speakers on the stage, some are to the left, some are to the right, some are all over the place, but you get a sense of things that are stage left or stage right. When you go and watch an orchestra, you hear the violins slightly to the left, the cello slightly to the right. Everything has its own space. Admittedly, that changes somewhat depending on where you are in the audience. So there is slight variation and slightly different experiences that different people will have when watching a live performance. But that's the point. We have two ears, we have left and right input into our brains, and that is how we perceive the world. Well, what about mono? Does it have a place in our consideration of creating our music tracks? Well, yes. If you imagine you're at a coffee shop, a shopping centre, or a nightclub, the person who sets up those speakers has no idea where you are. And in the case of a shopping mall, you're moving around quite a lot. In a nightclub, you're bouncing up and down quite a lot. And in a coffee shop, there's lots of different options. Where do they put the speakers? In general, they put the speakers so that people, wherever they are, can hear the music that is coming out. The problem with that is sounds that interfere with each other and are out of phase, they will cancel each other out. So if you have multiple speakers in a nightclub and say take two of them, if they are out of phase when they reach you, they will cancel out and you will not hear anything. That's a completely different topic for next week and what phase cancellation means. But the point is, there is a place for mono tracks in the real world. And nightclubs, shopping centres, coffee shops, perfect examples where they will play your tracks in mono. Otherwise, they just won't work. Now, what does all of that mean in reality for us? Why would we use stereo instead of mono? In general, you will be creating your final mixes and probably already have been creating them in stereo. That is because most people do listen in stereo, have headphones, stereo systems, and that is how most people will experience your music. So good to mix in stereo. It also gives you a width that you can play with and separates different elements of your music so they can be heard more distinctly. You can put more things in. Also allows you to add some interest, with stereo effects where you can move things from one side to the other. But there is also a place for mono. A lot of composers, producers, mix engineers will mix in mono to get the EQ and the balance of different sounds sitting in their own particular audio space to start off with. Then they will expand it out for the final mix. Using mono to focus your attention to start with is great. If you have kick and bass drums that you really want to punch through, put them in mono. They will come through so much clearer. I've mentioned balance and EQ just then, and phase cancellation. You avoid the problem of phase cancellation, but like I said, we'll have a look at that next week. For now, let's go and have a look at one of the biggest mistakes that people make between balance and panning in a DAW. Here is the biggest mistake that people make in their digital audio workstation, but actually they're using balance. The easiest way to illustrate this is going to be with a drummer track, I think. And let's just grab a drummer, put it in a loop. There we go. When you're busy mixing, you might go through this and think, well, let's have a quick look. What's making sounds? So you might think, oh, we'll have the kick on the left, the snare on the right, the clap on the right, and hi-hat on the left. So you've made a lovely, not a great example because you would normally have the kick coming down the middle, but what I'm going to show you is the important bit. So we've created our track, doesn't matter whether it's a drum kit or a bunch of different instruments, left and right. And then you think, well, actually, I'm going to have the drum kit a bit more to the left, or this could be the string track to the left, or whatever. So you come down to your pan knob here, and you think, I will move that to the left, and you play it back. But this happens. Well, what happened to all those claps? Let's pan it to the right. Well, that's great, I've got the snare now, but what's happened to the kick? The reason this is happening is because you are changing the balance. By changing the balance, what you're doing is reducing one channel or the other. So in our case, our kick drum is on the left. So if we pan it to the right, what that does is basically lowers the left channel and we lose the kick. Let's hear that again. Kick, everything, lose the kick. That is what balancing does. And it's great for making sure your sounds are balanced within a mix, that the amount of left and right is correct. But if you actually want to move something in the stereo field, if you look in Logic, if I right click this, by default it is on balance mode. If I change it to stereo pan, now we get the effect we were expecting, where the whole kit is going to move to one side or the other. So I'll play this and move this to the left, back to the centre, and then to the right. All the way to the left. All the way to the right. And that is probably what most people are expecting to happen when they move the pan knob. The other thing you can affect is width. So as I hover over this, you'll see the ends light up. If I click and drag when they're lit up, I can change how wide that sound is. As wide as possible. Quite narrow, but then we can move that around. That is the way to do stereo panning with your instruments in Logic. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, next week we're going to have a look at what phasing means and how it interferes with the cues that you are creating. If you haven't liked and subscribed, why not? I mean, you can get notifications when these episodes come out. Anyway, hope you have a brilliant rest of your week, and I'll definitely see you next Monday. Bye for now.